Charlie Kirk's death is being presented very theatrically, and I think they're going to try to make him into a martyr. Why? Because people are just waking up. Now, I don't know, and I'm not going to claim that his death was some kind of setup. I don't believe that. There's some suspicious evidence, but it's definitely not conclusive. That being said, they are definitely going to use his death to push political ends, and I think those ends are going to be division of the masses. Think about it. Right-wing support has been trickling away from Trump since he took office. First, it was stuff like the tariffs. It wasn't going quite as planned. And then it was stuff like Epstein starting wars abroad, breaking some of his most fundamental promises. That was bad stuff. And he's lost support over it. Now, suddenly, just when it's convenient, this person who is effectively a talking piece for the RNC suddenly dies. He's killed by some radical leftist who had like LGBTQ and anti-fascist terminology painted on the gun, which they conveniently found on the forest floor nearby. And then they're going to talk about this. They're going to harp on it in media, talk about how the left is a danger, how we need more law and order, and how people need to rally around Trump in order to stop such violence in the future. And then that leads me to the other point. On top of the push to unite the right around Trump, around the establishment in the wake of his mistakes and his bumblings, I think they're also going to use it to push for more surveillance. That's the second reason they're going to push it this way. They're going to sell Charlie Kirk as some kind of martyr, is because they want to increase their hold over the country. Not just Trump necessarily, but also the entire establishment. They're going to push for law and order. They're going to push for surveillance. They're going to push for more deportations, for more extreme occupation of American cities, like they've done in Chicago and DC recently. I'll talk about all that surveillance stuff again in a moment, but to all the people on the right who watch my videos, we can't go back to the fake right-left dichotomy that we were sold for years. That world is gone. It's no longer, like low taxes and Christianity against those evil Democrats who want to take our guns and blah, blah, blah. This is a fight of people versus leaders. It is not right and left anymore. They want to control us. They will work with each other. They will pass each other's bills. They often have passed each other's bills. I think Thomas Massey pointed it out, but like a full fifth of the bills that have been put forward by Speaker Mike Johnson since he was reelected in 2024 have been Democrat bills. They are in the same boat. They support one another. The only anti-establishment forces are the very most extreme elements of the right and left in the government. They want you to believe that your neighbor is the enemy, and they are not. Your leaders are the enemy, and we have to recognize that. And they're getting scared. They're getting scared because, as we saw in Nepal, we can lead a successful revolution. Gen Z led like a 2-day revolution against the leadership, and while it started because they banned social media, it quickly escalated. It became about corruption. It became about nepotism. And within 2 days, the president's palace was ransacked and the parliament building was on fire, if I remember correctly. But I think they're trying to distract you from this. I think that's part of the reason that Charlie Kirk is dead now, and they're making such a big deal about it. But at the same time, they know that we could do the same thing here. In the same way the American Revolution inspired the French Revolution, a Nepali revolution could inspire revolutions across the world, especially if we realize how corrupt our leaders really are, how bad it really is up there, and especially if we unite with each other, which is what we need. We need unity. We need people to unite around one purpose, one flag, one banner. There's going to be a banner behind me in a little bit, but we'll get more into that later. This fake division that they push, the fake division we need to overcome, affects us most dearly, affects the youth and the regular people most dearly. Like boomers and politicians don't care if the current problems aren't solved because they're living in their nice seaside resort or they're on their latest cruise to Israel, right? If they don't solve the problems that we face today, then we're going to have to deal with them for the rest of our lives. And they think that they can tell us, oh, it doesn't matter, that they can distract us. They can tell us that, oh, the real enemy is that person over there. It's your neighbor. But we know that's not true. People are waking up. People know that's not the case. People know that Charlie Kirk died for the establishment, and they're trying to turn him into a martyr, but it's not going to work. People have turned against that establishment, that same establishment, which is telling us now that we should love Charlie Kirk. On the other hand, a large part of the establishment is saying that we should hate Charlie Kirk, and that's also a fallacy. Charlie Kirk was a talking piece. He was a talking piece for the establishment that we oppose, and that's the point I really want to get across, is that this doesn't matter. All the chatter doesn't matter. We need to move beyond that. It is about people versus leadership. They are trying to control us. We have a world to win. They don't want to solve the problems because it doesn't matter to them, because they get rich while we get poorer and poorer day by day. Like I like to say, they're planning their latest trip to Israel, right? Getting on their next cruise, or in some cases, they're literally just trading stock on the Senate floor. Meanwhile, we struggle just to get by. We struggle to pay rent, in some cases to buy groceries. It's a harsh world down here, and they don't care. They want you to hate your neighbor. They want you to hate the people around you, right? Students on university campuses, if you're right wing or if you're left wing, they want you to hate like rural folks who are just out there like farming and, raising cows and whatever. It's all noise. Ignore it. If you don't believe me, if you don't think that the division affects us most dearly, then think about if a conflict breaks out. I think there are certain people who definitely want a conflict against the other political side, especially older people. But if that happens, it's going to be you and me carrying the guns. It's not them. You're never going to see, Mike Johnson or JD Vance in the trenches with us. It's going to be us. We're going to have to suffer to fight their war, which we have no interest in. I have much more in common with any random lower middle class person than I do with anybody in the United States government. I will not fight their war, and you shouldn't either. But we're not quite there yet, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they don't actually want a war, in which case that's great. Maybe they just want to rob us and take our money, convince us that we need XYZ product. That's fine. If they want to do that, that's a little more tolerable, but it doesn't make it any more right. We need a serious movement against what they are doing. We need a serious movement that challenges the government, that challenges the two parties, that talks about the issues that matter, that wants to serve the youth, that wants to end the system of extraction and serfdom which has conquered our country, which wants to take down some of these big companies which are abusing workers. We need a new movement that will serve the people against the government, which will serve voters against their politicians, individuals against companies and organizations which want to exploit them. That's what we really need. Until we have a movement that can unite people around their actual desires and make changes in real life to benefit those people, it does not matter what the two parties are talking about. There's no time to debate these right and left wing points. It doesn't really matter that much if gay marriage is illegal or legal, if people can't afford rent and if you have to go into debt, like some people say, to afford pizza. That's not a good system that we have. We don't have a good system set up, and until we fix it, I frankly don't care what the other side is believing. I certainly align more with the right on certain issues and more with the left on other issues, but it doesn't really matter to me because more than anything, I align against the government. I align with the people. I'm a populist, and I will always be. And that's what I think we should push for. We need a populist movement for the people, genuinely for the people. So ignore this dumb phantom enemy. Don't let them use Charlie Kirk's death to fool you or to sway you. It is a trap. It is a ploy. They are trying to convince you that the enemy is on the other side of the aisle, that the enemy is out to get you, that we need more law enforcement, more surveillance. It's a lie. Don't let them trick you. Charlie Kirk was a talking piece for the RNC. And if you support the RNC, if you support the Republican Party, it's fine. You can mourn him. You can even say that nobody should have to die for their beliefs, which I believe. But he was not our friend, and he was not our ally. I was actually on Instagram yesterday when it happened, and I remember Young Americans for Liberty, which is a libertarian organization, was posting about how it's so sad that our friend and ally, Charlie Kirk, is dead. He's gone too soon, and we aligned with him in so many ways. And I just thought, the Young Americans for Liberty have overtly said they're trying to take over the Republican Party because it's not libertarian enough. Yet for some reason, now they're saying that Charlie Kirk, the talking piece of that same establishment they're trying to overthrow, is their ally. It doesn't make any sense. There's this fake consensus that has cropped up in the past couple days about how Charlie Kirk was like this right-wing martyr. He is not those things. He was an establishment shill, and we need to remember that. Again, people shouldn't have to die for their beliefs. I believe that wholeheartedly, but Charlie Kirk just wasn't a great guy. Charlie Kirk was a sellout in more ways than not. He always defended Israel, and he always defended the establishment, even when it was clear that people did not support it, even when it's clear even he shouldn't support it. And he started asking questions. This is true. He started asking questions near the end of his life, and I think he might have ruffled some feathers, rubbed some people the wrong way. I even think it's possible it was some kind of setup. I'm not going to go into that because, again, the evidence is finicky, but at minimum, they're going to abuse his death for political gain. You cannot forget that. So keep your eyes open. Remember what we stand for. Remember the people. Remember that your neighbor is not your enemy. Your daughter, your dad, whoever it may be, they're not your enemy. Your enemy is the people at the top who are orchestrating, who are puppeteering this dumb game of right versus left long beyond its usefulness. Sure, there are differences between right and left, but those just aren't the ones that matter. We are on the verge of total defeat. This is like the last fight. This is the last battle. We don't have any more chances to take our country back, to take our government back. Our fight is bigger than just right versus left. It's even bigger than just people versus government because it's a fight for humanity. Our government, our leaders want to enslave Americans. They want us to be mindless consumers, and they don't want us to ask questions about what they're doing because they want more control. They want us distracted. They want us to just mindlessly send money to Israel or other allies. They want more money from foreign countries. They want more money from you. They are totally greedy. They are totally corrupt. And if they get their way, they will use AI to enforce their dominance. They will spy on you. They will take out threats. They will preemptively arrest or interrogate people deemed suspicious. They already do some of this stuff, and it's okay generally because these people are the ones like posting nasty stuff on social media, right? Making bomb threats. They'll punish people before things have been done often, but believe me, it will get 10 times worse if they get what they want, if our leaders get what they want. We, the people, regular people, lose in whatever system they have planned. And so we cannot side with them under any circumstances. They could kill Charlie Kirk. They could kill all our leaders. They could kill me. They could kill your dad. They could kill anybody. It shouldn't make a difference. There is no amount of danger or harm that could befall you for you to say, actually, I trust the government. Actually, they're right, because they are not. They do not have your best interests in mind, and we need to remember that. This is editing, Will. I'm just warming up for the video. You're probably seeing this after the video, but I'm actually talking before I'm about to record the video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow the Instagram, do all that stuff, because we really need your support. We need it desperately. I can't harp on that enough, but big things are coming. We're about to have a redesign here in the studio, which is actually my bedroom. But regardless, I think you're about to enjoy what's going to come next. But anyway, like I said, hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.